Hello and welcome to a session of Fit Essentials. My name is Shauna and I'll be taking you through class. Let's go ahead and come to standing. All right, stay nice and tall. Bring your feet just underneath the hips. We're going to do 3 cycles of some breathing. So standing tall, close the eyes if you feel comfortable. Breathe in, reaching up to overhead. Nice deep breaths. And exhale, relax the arms down, opening through the chest. Very good. We're going to go twice more here. Pull the chin in, lifting up out of the hips. Breathe and reach tall and opening. Good morning. Welcome. Beautiful. Last time. Here we go. Reaching tall and all the way down. Fantastic. From here, we're going to start with a little toe touch. So walk your feet in, toes pointing straight ahead. Hands on the thighs, lifting up out of the hips. Bring your chin to the chest, little bend to the knees, and then holding nice and strong in your midline. Start to slide your hands down your legs. Just kind of doing a little baseline here before we get really warm to see where we're at. So coming down, see if you can touch the toes, the ankles, get all the way to the floor. Don't force anything. When you hit your bottom position, pause if you're comfortable and breathe nice and deep into the back of the rib cage. 1 to 2 breaths. And then when you're ready, push through your feet, start to tuck those hips under, pull those shoulders back, and gradually make your way up. Very good. Once we come to the top, we're going to take the hands, support on the low back. Again, just a little bend in those knees. Fire your glutes. Just gently shift those hips forward, pull the shoulders back, and look up towards the ceiling. Really think about lengthening up out of the low back. Again, firing those glutes, not force anything, just a gradual opening here, and then down and relax. Very good. From here, keep the feet about hip width apart. We're going to take those arms back to overhead, and we're going to go into a little side stretch. So reaching tall, bending to one side, getting a nice lengthening through that side of the body. Breathe in, come back to center, and then take it the other way. Just gradually leaning to the side. Very good. We're going to go twice more each time. Back to the first side. Back to center, and to the second side. All right, on this third one, we're going to add a little rotation. So you'll bend to the side first. Once you hit that side bend, if you feel comfortable, turn your downside shoulder up towards the ceiling. Just get a little twist, peer to the ceiling with your gaze. 1 breath there, then unwind yourself back to center. Same thing, other side. Side bend first, taking it to the side, and then gradually turn your downside shoulder or armpit towards the ceiling, peering up. 1 breath there, and then shake it out. Good job. Come back to center, and let's just go a little side step and swinging the arms open. Focus to have those shoulders down out of your ears, and as you swing your arms back, palms forward. So kind of rotate them forward. Very good. From here, we're going to go into some windmills. So you're going to take a nice wide base stance, standing up nice and tall. Spread your arms nice and long out to the side. Little bend in those knees, and now having a nice long spine, we're going to hinge over, reaching to the opposite knee. Over, starting with about knee height, and then from there, you can look to get a little bit deeper each time. Make sure you keep just a gentle bend in the knees, and then we're really focused to send the hips back. Nice long spine. You want to think about your bowing forward, hinging over, squeeze the glutes, standing tall. Couple more. Breathe. So exhale as you stand, shoulders down out of the ears. Good job. 1 more each side. Fantastic. Going to walk those feet in, and we're just going to do a couple little wrist rolls here. Just rolling the wrist around. Kind of paying attention to the shoulders, getting down out of the ears. We tend to kind of live, especially in the wintertime, if it's cold in your area, we tend to shrug up. So rotate the other way, turn the wrist the other direction. Fantastic. All right, from here, we're going to start to take it down to the floor. If you have a mat nearby or anything that you need to add, go ahead and kind of lay that out. And we're going to start with what we call some sumo inchworms. So sumo refers to the stance of the feet. It's going to be a nice wide base stance. From here, little bend in those knees, reaching down for the floor, and you're just going to gradually walk yourself out into a plank position, like the top of a push-up, and then walk your hands back, coming back to the top. Squeeze the glutes, stand straight up. If you want to reach back up to overhead, you can. And then we'll just make our way through here, anywhere between 2 to 3. When you're coming down to support on the floor, you always want to think about nice wide handprint. Spread those fingers out, grip those finger pads down, taking it out, taking it back. This will be our last time. And we go back to the floor this time, we're going to stay down there for some more stretching and warm up. All right, so once you come on down, go ahead and bring the knees down. We're going to place those hands right underneath the shoulders. Walk your knees in so that they're touching. And then we'll gradually drop the hips to one side. Call this our quadruped hip rock. And then gradually taking them to the other side. Just nice and gentle here. Starting to stretch out the outside of the hips into the low back. Strong base support through the shoulders. Fantastic. From here, bring your toes together and then divide your knees. You're going to reach your arms out nice and long in front and drop the hips back, dropping the head between the arms for child's pose. And focus on your breathing here. So breathing in the back of the rib cage. Nice deep breath in, and then as you exhale, allow your chest to come a little closer to the floor. Once again, breathe in and breathe out. Very good. From there, we're going to come back up. Have your knees about hip width apart this time, and we're going to go into our mid-back rotations. Taking one hand behind the head, you're going to bring your elbow towards the opposite elbow, lifting up out of that support shoulder, peer over to the ceiling. So elbow to the elbow, and lifting and rotating, peering up. Breathe in to close, and exhale to open. Let's get between 5 and 8 here, and we'll switch sides. We're doing a little bit of overhead work in our first circuit that we're prepping for, so it's always great to do a little bit of rotational work through the mid-back before you get into some overhead work. Just helps that positioning a little bit better, helps you to avoid arching of that low back. All right, maybe one more here, and then we'll switch sides. Fantastic. And for the breathing on this, I'll inhale as I close, and then exhale as you rotate. Try to get all the air out of the lungs best you can, and pausing in that open position, peering over the shoulder, pause, gaze up towards the ceiling. Good job. A few more. Down, really lifting out of that bottom shoulder. Breathe in, breathe out, and last one, down and out. Fantastic. All right, go ahead and come off the wrist for just a second. You can roll those around once again. Next, we're going to start to open up our hips a little bit more. All right, so we're going to go back, hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to lift our knees up off the ground, and let's start with your right foot. You're going to step your right foot forward, trying to bring that right foot as close as you can to the right hand. So basically kind of like a mountain climber position. And then from here, we're just going to gently swivel the hips around. So nice little circles here, rotating the whole body, focusing through that hip. 3 to 5, one direction, and then start to rotate the other way. All right, once you get those swivels in both directions, go ahead and bring your left knee down to the mat, and we're going to come into a lunge position. So you have that front foot planted, shin is vertical. If you're too narrow here, that knee is going to shoot forward. So make sure that foot's plenty wide. Interlace your hands, stretch straight up, and then lifting up through that chest. You're going to gradually shift your hips forward, really focus to fire that glute on your left hip. So looking straight ahead, lifting up. Breathe and relax those arms down. From here, we're going to stretch out those triceps a little bit. Take your left arm, reach straight up, bend that elbow, keeping your head tall. So don't crouch forward, grab that elbow, and now you're going to push that back hip forward and bending towards that front leg. And if anyone's not comfortable down here on your knee, you're always welcome to kind of mimic this from more of a standing position. So feel free to come up to standing and get off that knee if you need to, or double up your mat. It's about 3 to 5 side bends here. Fantastic. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch. So we're going to come back down into that mountain climber position, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So place the hands beneath the shoulders, lift the knees. This time the left foot, nice big step, kind of inch it up as close as you can to that left hand. And we got our hip circles first, rotating around. Splay those fingers nice and wide. And reverse directions on the rotations when you're ready. Rotating the other way. And then once you finish those rotations, now the back knee, so your right knee comes down, or again, if you prefer to stand, come into like a standing lunge posture. Check in with that left foot, firmly planted, shin vertical. We'll interlace the hands to start, reaching straight up, lifting up out of the hips, chest tall. And now just nice and gradual, shift your hips forward. Now we're focused on that right hip, firing that glute. If you want to drop that right arm down and use that hand on your backside, sometimes if you have something to squeeze against, it helps you to fire that glute just a little bit more. Otherwise, one more time here, lift, breathe, and relax those arms down. Tricep stretch on the right side. Right arm reaches up, lengthening through the chest, bend the elbow, and again, no forward head postures here. So chest up, reach around, grab that elbow, and now you can still get a little hip shift here and focusing on bringing your torso to the side. Breathe in as you come back to center, staying tall, and exhale as you go into that side bend. Fantastic. Couple more. Beautiful. Last one. Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and take it around. We're going to go onto our backs, get our glutes firing a little bit better, stretch out that low back, and then we'll be getting into our first circuit. Go ahead and spin around. Come on down. As you lie down on the floor, kind of rock yourself and pull those shoulders back and down. And we're going to just start here, pulling both knees in towards the chest. Pull the chin in towards the chest as well. And breathe. You can gradually rock yourself side to side if that feels good. From there, go ahead, extend your left leg out. Oops, a little close to my box. Extend that left leg out, pull your right knee towards your right shoulder, and actively push your left thigh down into the floor and go ahead and roll that ankle around. 3 to 5 one way, and then we'll reverse directions, 3 to 5 the other. Fairly normal here. You got a little clicks and pops in there. You got a lot of small bones in that area. When you finish those rotations, switch legs. Extend the right leg, pull the left knee towards that left shoulder, and actively drive that right thigh down as you pull that left knee across, opening through the inner thigh, and then ankle rolls on the left. 3 to 5 one way, and 3 to 5 the other. All right, fantastic. We're going to do a couple more stretches, but first we're going to get in a first set of some glute bridges. So go ahead and bend those knees, feet flat on the ground. You can rest the hands on the front of the hips or over at your sides. Looking straight ahead, you're just going to nice and gradually to start to push through your feet and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. As you send those hips forward, you can kind of pull that chin in, pausing in the top, and then down and relax. We're going to spend about 30 to 45 seconds here, just moving at a pace that feels good for you. Gradually allowing the front of the hips to open as you really fire your bum. So you want to try to see if you can get a little bit more of that muscle tissue of your backside to wake up every rep. Pushing up, driving into your heels. And then relaxing down when you're ready, nice and smooth. Let's go about 2 more here. As you drive those hips up, imagine trying to still lengthen through your spine. So we don't want to kind of crunch down on our low back, but thinking about trying to be as long as you can. Down, relax, and last time, up and hold. Drive it up. And if you get any pinching, if you go too far, then just, don't go quite as high and relax down. All right, we're going to go into the glute stretch next. So you're going to extend that left leg out, and now you're going to go back to the right knee. Instead of coming to the right shoulder, just sweep it across the body, bringing it over towards the left side to get a little opening through that glute. And once you get in that position, let's just close the eyes and breathe for about 3 nice deep breaths here. Feel your rib cage expand as you breathe in. Feel it drop down as you exhale. One more breath and then we'll switch sides. Very good. Release the right leg. Same thing on the left. Pulling it in towards the left shoulder and then sweeping it across towards the right shoulder. Again, looking to target this outer hip and glute area. Couple nice breaths here. One more, breathe deep and release. All right, last time through on the bridges, bending the knees, feet flat. And then whenever you're ready, again, we'll spend about 45 seconds here. Close the eyes. As you pull that chin in, it's going to help lengthen the back of the neck. We hold a lot of tension in the back of the neck, so allow that area to lengthen. Just nice and smooth. Very good. Find whatever breathing pattern works for you. And then still trying to lengthen through that low back as you push those hips open. Fantastic. Let's take about 10 more seconds, 1 to 2 more reps. Very good. Once you finish those bridges, we're going to go arms out to the side. Bring the knees up and together. So both legs are together, holding the knees about 90 degrees. And then nice and gradual, you're going to bring both legs over to one side, look over your opposite shoulder for 2 knee twist. And you get to control how far do you want those knees to go into that twist. And then when you're ready to go to the other side, activate your midline, use your lower core to pull it up and across, gently take it across the other side and turn your head so that you look in the opposite direction that your legs are headed. Good job. Pull them in and across, same thing other way. Let's go one more time each direction. Sweep them across and over to the other side. All right, very good. Go ahead and make your way up. Take your time. If you have some water nearby, please grab a drink. And before we get into our first circuit, we're going to revisit that toe touch. We're getting ready for some deadlifts, so we want to kind of see where's our range of motion. We did it in the beginning, and now you should be a little bit warmer. So we'll check in again. We're going to have the feet nice and close, toes straight ahead, lifting up out of your hips. Don't lock out those knees, just a little gradual bend. Pull the belly button in, chin to the chest, sliding down. And this is just a little check-in. If it's tough for you to get down to like your ankles or your toes, reaching the ground, then depending upon the size of your weight for those deadlifts, you may not want to take it all the way down. You can just do like a quarter or half of the range of motion. And I'll show you that option when we get there. Okay, so once you do that, go ahead and find what weight you want to start with. We're going to be doing 45 seconds of a sumo deadlift. So that's going to be our nice wide base stance, tall chest, flat back. You'll stand straight up and control it down. And then you're ideally going to have a little bit lighter weight for the overhead press. We're going to go 45 seconds in one arm and then 45 seconds in the other for 3 rounds total. Any questions? All right, we'll get started here in right about, let's go in 20 seconds. If you're not sure what we're doing, you can always watch the first round. Like I said, we're going to do this 3 times through. So if you're not sure, just join us when you have a better idea. Set those feet nice and wide. Set that posture. So we don't want to hyperextend the low back. Pull the hips in so you're nice and neutral. Slight bend in those knees, bowing forward. And here we go. Set 1, squeeze the glutes, controlling down. Breathe. At the top, you want to have your shoulders stacked right over the hips. You don't need to arch back, just straight up and down. And then as you control it down, place that weight like right between the ankles. And again, if you're someone that has that trouble with flexibility, you can bring it to about knee height, mid shin. You just sort of don't want to go so far that you then start to round through the back to compensate for Usually like a lack of flexibility through the hamstring area. Very good. Maybe a couple more, 5 seconds. Over and up, down. Good, and rest. Good job. Overhead press is next. Let's start in your left arm. If you know that you tend to be stronger on the left than the right, start in your non-dominant side. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. Pushing straight up, elevating through that shoulder, and then elbow comes forward as you lower. Good work. And I like to just place my hand here on my abdomen, help keep some awareness so I'm not going in that sway back posture, kind of like an advantage of pressing with one arm. Very smooth. That's 30 seconds. And while we're focused on the upper body, you can always still stay nice and strong in the lower body, kind of engaging the midline, engaging the glutes. And 2, 1, go ahead and rotate. Same thing, other arm. And 2, 1, here we go. Nice strong elevation. And you don't want to go out to the side. You don't want to be like YMCA arms. Think about bringing that weight almost straight over top of your head, keeping it close. And I tend to go exhale as I push up and then inhale as I lower. Breathe out to push high, controlling it down. Smooth. Halfway. Fantastic. 15 seconds. There you go. Into set 1 coming up in 2, 1, and relax. Very good. We're going to take 30 seconds if you need to make any changes for weights. Set 2 of the deadlift coming up soon. Also a great time to grab a little drink of water. Stay hydrated. All right, 15 seconds till we start. And I'm showing it with one weight. You can also hold 2 weights if you're a little bit lighter with what you have available. Otherwise, wide base stance, standing tall, slight bend in those knees, and here we go. Drive through your feet. Good, strong base of that midline. Keeping those shoulders back and down, using that upper body to keep that weight close to your center of gravity. So we don't want to have it swinging out and away. Placing it down right near the ankles. Very good. Chest tall at the top, shoulders back. 30 seconds in. Looks good. Yep. And maybe one more. 2, 1, and control it down. Good job. Back to the upper body. Non-dominant arm first. Then you just get more attention on that side. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. Pushing nice and smooth. And you're going to try to elevate that shoulder up towards the ear. So you're pushing up as high as you can. Very good. If you're someone that tends to kind of lock out those knees, make sure you just keep a little tiny bend in those knees. Exhale as you push. That's 30 seconds. And if you get to where like I'm struggling to push this, you can give a little boost to the legs. Just do what we call a push press. You do just a little quarter squat and then drive up from there. Or you can always rest a little bit early as well. And rotate. Good job. Same thing, other arm. And 2, 1, here we go. Working on that upper body strength. Keeping those shoulders mobile, reaching nice and high. Very good. And sometimes when people push up to overhead, they'll tend to protrude that neck forward. So don't push the head forward, just keep that chin in, looking straight on. Very good. That's 30 seconds. If you need to shake it out, go for it. Whereas we're almost there. And 2, 1, go ahead and rest. Beautiful. We'll take just about 30 seconds. Get ready for this final round. All right, one more drink of water. Any changes you need to make with your weights? And we're starting in 10. Back to that sumo deadlift. So remember, nice wide base stance, feet outside the hips. Have that weight close. And 2, 1, here we go. Chin in, push through your feet, squeeze those shoulders. Meaning like hold the shoulder blades back and down. So you can stand nice and tall. Good. Chin in as you lower, looking down towards the floor so your head's not extended. Chin in, and then at the top, now we're looking straight ahead. Controlling it down. Push through those feet to stand. Good. Use your legs, right? Strong midline, and then using those legs, pushing into the ground. Good. Try to come down just a little bit slower, moving with control. Over, down. Do one more. And 2, 1. Go ahead and rotate. Fantastic. Last time through the overhead press. Remember, non-dominant arm to start. And 2, 1. Here we go. And for the feet here, try not to have any toe out in this position. So toes pointing straight ahead. Good. Looks great, ladies. Pushing straight up, elevate through that shoulder. And if you get to where you can't do nice, smooth reps, please just go ahead and rest. You don't need to strain. That's 30 seconds. If you're newer to this, it's always a good place to rest. Fantastic. 1 to 2 more. And 2, 1, rotate arms. Ready? And here we go. Standing tall, pushing through. And we're going to keep that midline strong, not arching the back. Good job. Elbow forward. Push tall. Very good. That's 30 seconds. Very nice. Remember, if it gets tough, you can just add that little dip drive. And 2, 1, and rest and rotate. Fantastic. That's the end of that circuit. Good work. All right, let's grab some water, and then we're getting ready for some lunging and some push-ups. So we'll do a little bit of some specific prep for that. We're going to start by staying standing. Feel free to balance as needed. And we're going to go quad stretch. So looking to grab the foot, pulling that heel towards the glute. Watch the shoulder position. So set that shoulder blade back and stand up tall out of that support hip. So don't just drop down, lifting up, keeping the hips nice and level. Good job. Nice breathing here. And when you're ready, go ahead and release that. Same thing, other side. Lift up to the midline, good balance, and grabbing that foot. Nice. Eyes straight ahead, staying tall. It's about another 10 seconds here. You just gently kind of drive that thigh back as you pull the heel towards the glute. And 2, 1, and release there. Very good. Wide base stance, behind the back stretch. Interlace the hands. Extend those elbows best you can without arching the back. Lifting up. Stay here or root down into your feet. Send those hips back. Bow forward, then pull those arms up from there. Very good. Focus that breathing in the back of the rib cage. Deep Breath in, and when you're ready, drive to your feet, roll those hips under, and shake it out. All right, beautiful. From here, I just want to open up the hips a little bit more. Let's come on down. We're going to do a seated figure 4. So you're going to sit down, extend your right leg like you're going to do a runner's stretch, and then take your left foot on the right thigh, and then gradually walk your right foot in. Looking to get a nice opening here on this outer left hip. All right, so we're going to have, it says 30 to 60 seconds of a lunge. So I'll take you through a full minute, but just depending upon your experience with the lunge, don't feel like you have to go all the way knee to the floor. If you're not quite ready, you could do a partial lunge, or we call them giant steps, stepping back, stepping forward, and then we'll take it down to the floor or an elevated surface for the push-up. Go ahead and switch legs, walk that right foot out. Same thing other side. Left leg extends, cross the right foot over, and inch that left foot in. And on the push-ups, I'd rather have you do like an elevated push-up and be able to bring your chest all the way down to the surface as able. And we want to really watch the elbows. So you don't want to have those elbows winging out wide. And if you have anything going on with your shoulder that the push-ups don't feel right for you today, you can always hold a front plank. So holding that top position is a good substitute to still be working on that upper body strength. All right, let's go ahead and release that. And then make your way on up. We're going to get started here in right about 30 seconds with that lunge. Depending upon your experience, you're welcome to hold some weights on these. I'm going to show the first round without weight, and then I might hold some weights after that. All right, starting in 15 seconds. So you're going to stand nice and tall, toes straight ahead, and then we're going to go here in 5, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Controlling it back. Front heel stays planted. You bring that knee down towards the floor. Drive up and forward out of that front leg. Stepping back, controlling it down. Chest tall, eyes up. And we're alternating sides here. Down. Drive that front foot to kind of propel you up and forward. Chest up and moving forward. Very good. Stepping back. Push through. Good. Control. And up. Beautiful. That's 30 seconds. If you're new to this, you may want to rest there. Otherwise, you got to keep stepping through. Very good. That's 45 seconds rather. Making sure you're stepping back far enough that that front shin is vertical. Not letting that knee shoot forward. Good awareness there, Sharon. Looks nice. Straight up and down. And 2, 1. Go ahead and rotate. All right, I'm going to do my first round of push-ups from an elevated surface here. If you want to start on the floor, you're welcome to it. Otherwise, place those hands just underneath the shoulders. Walking the feet back. And 2, 1. Here we go. Keeping those elbows relatively into the sides. Not fully against the body. I just don't want to have them like winging really wide. So control down, midline tight. Oftentimes we see people start to arch in that back. So pull that belly button in, keep those hips level with the shoulders. Very good. You don't have to, do push-ups for a full minute here. There's 30 seconds. Feel free anytime you need to kind of come up, shake out those arms. Then you can either rest the rest of the time or come back down for a few more reps. We have about 20 seconds left in the minute. Control down and driving away. Very good. Pulling that belly button in, avoiding that arch in the back. And if you get to where you're like, all right, my push-ups are done, just hold that plank. 2, 1, and rotate. Very good. We're going to take 15 seconds. If you need a little bit longer, just join us when you're ready. You can hold weights if you want for the lunges, if you feel confident with those. Either 2 at your sides, or I'm going to hold 1 underneath my chin. And here we go. Set 2. Control that knee down to the floor, or as far as you have control and confidence. Front heel planted, shin vertical. Very good. Back and down, up and forward. Beautiful. Keeping those eyes up, keeping that chest tall. Think about propelling through that front foot. That's our 30-second mark. And continue to breathe. Very good. There's 45 seconds. Good positioning, Jean. That looks nice. Good coordination of the arms. That's great. And 2, 1, and rotate. Beautiful. Push-ups next. Alrighty. I'll take it down to the floor this time. Nice wide handprint. Place those hands right underneath the shoulders. And 2, 1. Join us when you're ready. Coming down. Midline strong to push. And a good in-between too is you can come down on your toes and then come to your knees to push up. If you're somewhere where you're like, knee push-ups don't feel like they're challenging me enough, you can do that little in-between. Again, down on the toes, chest to the ground, come to the knees to drive up. Elbows in, shoulders back. That's 30 seconds. Remember, if you get to where you're like, all right, my push-ups are done, you can finish in that plank hold. Beautiful. So we got our last set of push-ups, and we're going to do one more set of the lunges. So kind of like 2.5 rounds of this circuit. First time that we've done a minute of push-ups in these classes, so we'll build into that upper body work. Everything nice and tight to finish. 2, 1, and rotate. Good work. Last time on the lunges. Hold the weight to the side this time. Standing tall. 2, 1, here we go. No worries if you're not quite ready. Set yourself up well. It's a quick transition here. More important to move with control and feel secure in what you're doing than to rush the movement. We're all about preventing injuries here, so we're not looking to cause any. Stepping back, front heel planted. Good job, building that leg strength. 30 seconds in. Back and down, shoulders back, chest tall. Good work. Nice, Jean. Eyes up. That's 45 seconds. Beautiful. Take 1 to 2 more. And 2, 1. And we're all done there. Awesome. Grab a drink. We'll get ready for the last set. All right, suitcase deadlift. A little bit variation. Suitcase, think like old school luggage when you had the suitcases that didn't have the wheels, or think grocery bags, holding a weight in each hand. If you don't have even weights to use, you can either change it up each round, or you could go back to that sumo deadlift and hold one in between the legs, your call. And let's go ahead and warm up our squats, because you're gonna go from the deadlift to the squat. So set those feet about hip width apart, reaching out, sending those hips back, pushing those knees wide. So we're going to have 30 seconds of a deadlift, preferably that suitcase deadlift if you can for a little variety. And then we'll go right into a squat, 30 seconds. And then we're going to come down into a front plank. And if you have even weights here and feel secure, you can do that renegade row, where you row one arm and then the other. Okay. We'll take 30 seconds rest. We'll repeat that anywhere between 3 and 5 sets. See how everybody's feeling. Questions before we begin? All right, and if you're not sure what you're doing, watch the first round. Join us when you're ready. Otherwise, let's go in 15 seconds. You can use the same weights for the squats if you're comfortable, or if you're like, I don't feel ready to weight my squats, just do some air squats or body squats. All right, deadlifts first. Toes straight ahead. If you have the weights on either side, pull that belly button in, and here we go. Drive through the feet, looking straight ahead. And there's not assigned rest in between the exercises. They're quick transitions, so just be patient with it. Do the best you can. Again, focus more on good positioning than on speed. Standing tall, as always, squeezing that backside. And 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and squat. So if you want to use weights, you can. Up at the shoulders or underneath the chin. Setting those hips back. Chest up. Very good. And the movements are always suggested. So if you want a little bit more of something, maybe you don't want to go back in that plank position, maybe you want a little bit more squatting, you can always just keep with the squats. Otherwise, I'm going to drop down in that Renegade row. And 2, 1, here we go. Feet just outside the hips. If you don't have weights that are even, you can just do an imaginary row without weights, where I just go into a 3-legged plank, rowing one arm and then the other. You feel secure with your weights, same idea. Eyes focused right between your wrists, holding that head neutral. Good smooth breathing. Got a 30-second break coming up. In 2, 1, and rest and rotate. All righty, that's 1. And again, another suggestion for replacement. If you've had enough with the deadlifts, you can do what we call a good morning or a waiter's bow, bowing forward, standing tall, with or without weights. Otherwise, going in 7 seconds, back to that suitcase deadlift. Toes pointing straight ahead, standing tall, and here we go. Bow forward, squeeze the bum. Stay connected to that breathing, nice and smooth. Inhale, exhale to stand. Inhale to lower, exhale to stand. Squeezing the glute. Fantastic, 10 seconds. Getting ready for the squats next. And 2, 1, and here we go. With weight or without. Setting the feet a little bit wider, right about hip width. Controlling your hips down, driving your knees wide. Good job. Eyes looking straight ahead. Beautiful. Just depending upon your experience, you could do like fast squats, rapid fire, or I like to just keep them steady, nice and smooth. Getting ready to transition to that plank for the Renegade rows and rotate. I typically hold my feet a little bit wider than on a push-up here. So feet just outside the hips helps give a little bit more stability when you're in that 3-legged plank. Shoulder down out of the ear as you row here. Trying to bring the hand or your weight, if you're holding one, right up against the rib cage. Pulling that belly button in. And go ahead and rest and rotate. Fantastic. That's 2 down. Awesome work. Woo. Changing this up a little bit. 10 seconds till we start. Toes straight ahead, standing tall. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. Nice flat back. Push through the legs as you stand. Very good. Midline tight, pulling that belly button in. Stacking those shoulders right over those hips at the top. And our head position, looking down as you bow forward, looking straight ahead at the top. Maybe one more, get ready for those squats. 2, 1, and rotate. So if I'm not holding weights, I like to reach my arms out, help keep that chest up. Trying to get those hips below the knees, but making sure those heels stay planted as you do it. So sitting back. And while we're focused on staying into the heels, try not to lift your toes up. Still push that big toe down. The rest tend to follow. All right, getting ready to row. 2, 1, here we go. And another alternative too for the row, if anything's going on with the wrist, you can do a bent over row here. Good job. Halfway, 15 seconds left. Almost through round 3 already, going quick today. Hopefully for you as well. Hips high. Ideally without any kind of pike, just level with the shoulders and rest and rotate. Woo! Nice work. Over halfway. We'll go 2 more sets. If you need a break sooner or you're like 3 is good for me, then hey, I'd rather have you do a little bit less than doing too much. Less is more, so you can come back next time. 10 seconds, toes straight ahead, standing tall. Just a little bend in those knees, otherwise bow forward at the hips, and here we go. Breathing in to lower. Long spine, just a little bend in those knees. Good job, crew, looking strong. Halfway. Very nice. 5 seconds. Transition to that squat. And 2, 1, and here we go. Squatting. Knees drive wide, hips sink down. Continue to breathe. Breathe and speak kindly to yourself. Sometimes it's easy to have exercise kind of brings out some insecurities. Easy to feel like we're not doing enough or not doing it correctly. 2, 1, and rotate for the row. Show without the dumbbells this time. Nice wide handprint. Keep that breathing going. Fantastic. 10 seconds. Keeping a little give in those elbows. Very good. Rest break coming. 2, 1, and rest. Awesome. That's 4. One last one. Sharon, I noticed that you were doing that one arm and then the other. So since we're on round 5, maybe go back to the sumo on this last round so your body's nice and even. Alrighty, everybody, 10 seconds. Great work today. Let's finish strong, moving well. Toes straight ahead, flat back. And here we go. Push through those legs, squeeze the backside. Lift through that chest at the top, standing really tall. Very good. Looks great, Jean. Good. 10 seconds till we squat. One more here. 2, 1. Transition to the squat. Plant those feet. Knees push wide. We're near the very end here, so stay focused. Still moving with control. Very nice. The more fatigued you get, the more you got to fight for those good movements. Fight to have that good posture. So drive that chest tall as you stand. 2, 1. Final rotation. All right. Let's finish it out. If anybody wants an extra challenge here at the end, we'll finish with a full minute of this plank. I'll tell you when we're at 30 and 45. So don't feel like you have to go all the way. Just if you want to finish with a little extra challenge, if it feels appropriate for your body today, then join me with it. Continue to breathe. Continue to pull that belly button in. There's our 30-second mark. So that officially concludes. And we're going to work through our rest here if you can. Not letting those hips drop, so hips up. Looks great, Sharon. Shoulders down, elbows high. Continue to breathe. Good job. We're 40 seconds. Oh, sorry, 50 seconds. 10 seconds to go. Whew. Maybe one more on each arm. And 2, 1. All done. Awesome. Give yourself a round of applause, virtual high fives. Let's grab a sip and then we'll get a couple cool down stretches in. Nice work. All right, let's stay standing. We're just gonna go into some torso rotations. Nice wide base stance. Bring those hands out in front of the body. You're just gonna rotate yourself to one side, back to center, and to the other. So heart rate's probably still fairly high here. So I like to kind of stay on my feet at first, start to bring that heart rate down. And you can use your breathing to help start to control the heart rate again. Nice deep breaths will start to slow it all down. Shake out those arms. Let's go hands on the hips. A few hip circles here, rotating through. Good job. About 3 or so one way, and then when you're ready, switch and go the other. Very good. We're gonna go chest opener next. Pec stretch. If you have a doorway or a wall, I'm gonna go elbow right about 90 degrees against the wall. Inside leg steps forward, and just lean into it, not arching the back, but just lean through your chest. You wanna feel an opening on the inside of the shoulder, inside of the chest there, on the whatever hands against the wall. And then you're turning your torso away to help that open. You can take this outside arm and just make some nice big sweeping circles. Reaching forward, palm is facing in towards the body. And as I reach up to overhead, I kind of pivot my hand, have that palm face away in that back part of the arc. Reaching up and pivot through. Now let's do reverse directions. Now we'll circle it back and reach it forward. 2 to 3 here. Just keeping that ball and socket joint of the shoulder moving. And when you're ready, go ahead and release. Same thing other side. So I'm going to bring the arm right about 90 degrees. Place it against the wall or doorway. Inside leg steps forward. Lean into it first. Get that opening on the front of the chest. And gradually rotate your body away from the wall. Breathe here, and then when you're ready, you can add those arm circles, reaching up and back. Palm facing in towards your body on the forward part of the arc, and then pivoting, turning that hand away on the back part. Ooh. The shoulder's a little bit more stiff on my end. And then reverse, reaching it back to start and bringing it forward. One more time. Beautiful. Once you finish that, make your way down to the floor. We're just going to finish with a couple stretches on the floor. We're going to start on our backs, or not start, we're going to be on our backs. Let's start with that double kneaded chest. So lying on your back, hug both legs in. Pull that chin in. Feel free to close the eyes. Just allow that low back to open. Now we can revisit that two-knee twist, arms out to the side, holding that legs together, and just gradually bringing the legs across, looking over the opposite shoulder. And then up and through, same thing other side. Remember to turn the head. Sometimes you'll get a little release of the low back there. Let's go between 2 and 3 times each way. And these stretches, if you're sore or feeling a little stiff in the days following sessions, try to come back and revisit some of these stretches. Even if you're not feeling stiff, it's just good practice. Good. Once you finish those twists, we're going to roll onto the side. We're going to grab that foot for the quad stretch. Pull the heel towards the glute and gradually driving it back. You can be propped up on the shoulder here or elbow like I am, or have your arm outstretched. Great job today, crew. Good session. And then release. Same thing other side. We're going to go quads, and then we'll finish with our figure 4 stretch. Figure 4 is a great option for days after doing that single leg work. Sometimes you'll feel it in the glute. Got to keep those hips open. All right, release there. Taking it onto your back for a little bit different variation of figure 4. Let's go right foot on the left thigh, and then we're gonna hug that left leg in. Breathing on the back. Spend some time here, just allowing that right hip to open. And then we can add the hamstring of the left leg, extending that leg straight up, kind of pushing your heel towards the ceiling. And we're gonna point the toe away, pull that toe back towards your face, and then bend that knee back down, hugging the leg in. Call this the sciatic nerve floss. So flossing, meaning we want to kind of like slide and glide that big old nerve that lives in the back of the leg. It runs from your low back area up in the hip, tucks in the different areas, and it comes all the way down the back of the leg, has different branches and whatnot. So it tends to give people sciatica issues when it gets stuck along the track. So doing these nerve flossing exercises is just simply a way to keep it sliding and avoid some of those symptoms, especially if you're sitting quite a bit during the day. Let's go ahead and release. Same thing, other side. Left foot to the right thigh, and just start initially hugging that leg in, allowing that outer hip to open. Good time to close the eyes for a moment and breathe. And then when you're ready, right leg extends. Point the toe away, pull it back towards the face, and bending that knee down and in. Good job. Anywhere between 3 and 5 here. This will be our last one. So anything else that you want to add in, anything else that your body is kind of asking for or needs, try to take a moment and give it to it. Otherwise, if you're trying to take a moment for yourself, you can just kind of stay here on your back, breathing for a bit before you jump into your next activity, wherever you're headed next. All right, go ahead and release that hip. Again, feel free to stay a moment here. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thanks so much. Stay well and hope to see you next time.